guys, today we're going to be making pumpkin pie. I'm super excited. This is different because I'm actually filming myself, so I'm going to show you what you're going to need for this recipe. So we are making this recipe from scratch. It's from the Cake Boss book, so Pie Crust. It asks you that you have 2 cups of flour, 3/4 of a cup of vegetable shortening, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of salt, and 7 tablespoons of ice cold water. You need to put this in the fridge until it even gets icicles in it, because it just makes the water even colder. Now I'm not showing you like physically how they look, because I am going to post this recipe up, so I'll show you what to do next. So in here we've added our 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 3/4 of a cup of shortening, a tablespoon of sugar, a teaspoon of fine salt. And for this recipe you do need, sorry, the microwave door is open, you do need a stand mixer, or you can use a food processor. If you don't have one of these, I recommend going with a food processor because it is less expensive, or you can just buy it pre-made, which is easier. So you're gonna put it on low heat, lowest speed, yes. So you're gonna mix it in, and depending on how dry your dough is, you're gonna put in 7 tablespoons of ice cold water. So we're just gonna add 1. Okay. Add 2. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, okay? This is what it should look like when it's done. You just put this in plastic wrap and refrigerate it for 30 to 60 minutes, and I'll show you what that looks like. Now for the filling, you're gonna need a 15-ounce can of pumpkin puree. Now I couldn't find a 15-ounce can, so I did some research, and apparently it's the equivalent to 1½ a cup. You're gonna need 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 1½ teaspoons of cornstarch, which is right here, and now you're gonna need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, which is that one. You're gonna need 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves. You're gonna need 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground ginger. You're gonna need 1/4 of a teaspoon of allspice and of nutmeg. You're gonna need 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1½ cups of whole milk, 2 eggs, and a pie crust, which is currently in the fridge. So I'll show you what to do next. We're gonna preheat our oven to 425 degrees. Sorry, there are pans here because they're making stuff for church. So bake. So 425 degrees. In this bowl here, I have 1½ a cup of pumpkin puree, or 1 15-ounce can, 1½ teaspoons of cornstarch, 1/2 teaspoon of fine salt, 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of ground cloves, ground ginger, ground nutmeg, ground allspice, and 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. Now you can do this by hand, but mix these together. The only reason that I'm using a stand mixer is because my 2 whisks actually just broke, and I didn't know that, so I have to go and buy those, and I'll show you what to do next. You're gonna pour in your milk half at a time. So and when this absorbs, you're gonna pour in the other half. And I'll show you what that looks like when done. Scrape your bowl with a spatula, and when you do that, then add in your 2 eggs. And when you see that it has absorbed, I'll show you what to do next. So you're gonna flour your work surface, and you're gonna work the dough. You're gonna be rolling it with a rolling pin, and I'll show you. It should be starting to get in formation, and I'll show you what to do once it's done. You know, you gotta roll, and I'll show you what to do next. Once it comes together, like it should all come together. Now roll it until it's thin, so it can't be too thick, but don't roll it when it's thin that it pairs, and transfer it here and just fix the sides. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'll show you what to do next. Now the book says to cook this for 15 minutes and then lower the heat to 375 and cook that to 30 to 40 minutes until when you touch nothing comes on your finger. So I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. This is what your pie should look like when you're done. As you can see, some people were...
I put my finger inside the pie.
Yeah, some people were putting in their fingers and they burned their fingers. But look, I'm really proud of it, and I'll show you what it looks like when I taste it. Yay, it's done. It's really yummy, right?
Delicious.